What's up, guys? Labor Day weekend, going live at a later time than usual, but I'm off work tomorrow. Just got done hanging with the fam. Thought I'd go live on YouTube and say what's up to you guys. So I got like, I don't know, 15 items or something from Amazon that I ordered. Maybe something around there. Wanted to share that. Let me pull up YouTube so I can see your guys' comments. I spent a large part of the day trying to figure out a new setup for the garage as far as streaming goes. So my phone doesn't overheat. Still pretty hot in here. But how we doing tonight, guys? Is it too late? Is it too late to stream? Ortega, what's up, bro? What's up, system? It's not too late to stream. Thank you, man. All the motivation I need. I'll tell you what, though. I did get a new impact. Do I play VR? No, I don't have a VR. I wanted to try out this high torque impact wrench up against Flex, Milwaukee, and Dewalt. But it's a little too late to be busting off bolts at 9:30 at night. So I definitely want to check that out at some point. A VR? I might check it out. How we doing, everyone? Happy late Sunday night. It's 9:29 p.m. California time, Pacific Standard Time. I said I was going to go live today. I wanted to go live earlier and test out this 1/2-inch high torque, ultra torque impact wrench from Harbor Freight. It's got an 8 amp hour extreme performance battery. It has the 21700 cells, which are over 40% larger than your typical the typical battery cells. I was going to take it up against Flex, Milwaukee, and Dewalt. The Dewalt and Milwaukee have 8 amp hour batteries as well, except they have tabless cells. So the power is more readily available. Better current output for those two batteries. Those pretty much are the top dogs. DCF 961 Dewalt's number one, obviously, and it has VTEC. And Milwaukee. Milwaukee's a good all-arounder as far as RPM, power, and that kind of stuff goes. It actually feels really comfortable to hold. But when we're talking about raw power, it's going to definitely be the DeWalt DCF 961. This thing has VTEC. Some people like to say, well, that's not really a 1/2-inch high torque. It's a 3/4 with a 1/2-inch anvil. Well, the DCF 964 is a 3/4 inch, and it has a even bigger anvil on it, and it's more stronger. So I can't really say that anymore. It's just so powerful because it has VTEC. Excuse me. And then the flex. This thing has, I believe, the most impacts per minute. I think the Milwaukee has the most RPMs, 2,000, 1,900. The Dewalt has the lowest at 1,200. It does not sound fast, but it just sounds super strong. The Dewalt looks to be the most well built, if you ask me. The Hercules, how many RPMs is the Hercules? Is it only 1,600? I'll get all those specs pulled up when I do test it out. But I think I will go live tomorrow and we'll be testing those out. Which one did you just buy, Robbie? Oh, the Dewalt? Yeah, the DCF 961. I used to not like these things. These are La Croix or La Croix, however you want to say it. But they're just like cold, sparkling waters. Cold because I put them in the refrigerator. I do not like these things hot. I don't think anybody does. But sparkling water, something nice and cold to drink. Especially in this hot garage. All right, let's talk about what I got from Matthew with the $5 super chat. What's up, bro? How you doing, man? Thank you so much for the super chat, bro. Bob Burnquist, huh? Come on, man. You got to hit me with that Chad Muska, not Bob Burnquist. Caleb, what you doing up, man? What you doing up, Caleb? It's late where you're from. One of my least favorite things to be called is buddy. But nobody really knows that. Working late tonight? Nice, you got this, bro. Making that extra money working. Making that extra money working the night shift. Right on, man. All right, let's start working through some of these. I already got my wife, man. I got my beautiful wife. She's pregnant. She's due any day. She's 38 weeks. She's awesome. Let me show you guys some of the stuff I got. This is for a hard hat. I actually saw an apprentice wearing this, and I was like, you know what? I have like a bunch of headlamps. I got like 2 Milwaukee headlamps, a Klein one, but this one looked pretty cool. 700, I think it's 770 lumens. It'll last 5 hours at 770 lumens, super bright. So I went ahead and bought this off Amazon. I'm going to be using that at the job site. Can't wait to try that out. Let me do all the Klein stuff. I'll do all the Klein stuff first. These are some stand-up zipper bags. Stand-up zipper bags. There's 5 of them. And what does that mean for stand-up? They don't do comedy. That's not what the stand-up is. The stand-up is they stand straight up. They have a bit of a wider base on the bottom. Perhaps also some of the stitching, the way it's laid out helps it stand up. But something cool is that there's large sizes and smaller sizes and all in between. So I tried just pouring out all my drill bits in my 5-in-1 modular system. And let me show you guys the difficulty that I have. Like I have so much Dewalt Tough System. I have all those right there. Literally have all this right here. And I have the DXL Tough System. But I ended up doing this. I ended up dumping out my impact bags, or my impact bits, and I just dumped them all in here. And what's happening is they're rolling all around. I kind of have to dig around. Sorry for your ears, but yeah, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. Apparently I have a problem with throwing away saw blades. So I literally just have like hole saws, paddle bits, masonry bits, and a bunch of like sawzall blades. But yeah, I want to clear this up a little bit, make it a little more organized. I had four of these guys right here. Let me show you. So I used these for years. I got these at Home Deeps, and they're Huskies. They're Huskies, but it was like 4 for like, I don't know, 20 bucks or something. Probably even cheaper than that. And what I did is just tore a piece of cardboard and I wrote drilling bits and saw blades. So they have like a divider in between, and you can put 2 things on both sides. One there and another one over here. So they have a divider. But the problem is all 4 of these are the same size. So I had one for wrenches, one for sockets, one for drilling bits and saw blades, and one for drill bits. I love them. The quality is good. They're super durable. I've had them for years. I'm gonna say like 5 years. But I wanted to get not only 4 but 5 different sizes. So I got these Klein ones, and I look forward to using them and trying them out. Let's see if I got any more Klein stuff in here. I showed you guys all the Klein stuff I got from Willie Mills. Are you a hoarder? So it's a little early for this, but in September, fall will be coming. And I was just kind of thinking ahead. I got a new Klein beanie. So whenever it starts getting cold, I got a Klein beanie. I also have a windproofed hinge balaclava. And basically what that is keeps you warm. You put it over your face. It's like a ski mask, but it's a Klein one. So got that. Here's two other Klein. This is a neck and face cooling band. So I've seen some guys kind of use this as like a wrapped around their head. You can do all sorts of things with it, but keeps you cool and also keeps you from breathing in dust. So I got one of those. And this is like a cooling helmet liner. Cools up to 2 hours. So I wanted to try that out. When activated, cools up to 30 degrees below body temperature. So I kind of want to try this out. This cooling helmet liner. We'll see how it does. I don't know if you got to stick it in a cooler or what. But I think you just wet it down really, and then you just wring it out and put it on. So it'd be kind of cool to try that out while it's still hot. So that's all the Klein stuff I got. Headlamp and whatnot. I still have more stuff on back order that's coming on Amazon. I got these 2 American flag stickers because I'm an American and I'm proud to be an American. Duh. I got this from Southwire. Now this is electrical tools right here. Basically these have little wheels. It's a universal wire pulling tool. You're not going to scuff up the insulation on when you're pulling wire. So what does this do? You mount this to like a 4-square box, or your box, and then you're able to pull wire through it. And as you pull the wire through, say you're daisy chaining, you're pulling from one receptacle to another, or you're pulling from one box to another, you have a junction box or something, you're not going to scuff it up. So what's the importance of having this? Well, instead of having 2 guys pulling wire and paying to have 2 guys pulling wire, 1 guy can pull the wire by himself. Now, if 2 guys have this, then 2 guys are pulling wire by themselves. So it's just about being efficient and being productive. And yeah, I bought this myself because I just take pride in what I do. I love what I do, and I'm always trying to improve myself. So I got that. Can't wait to try it out. Now, this is a stud ball, and basically this is a magnetic stud finder. So super powerful. Ooh, let's try it out. Let's just keep it in the box. Look at that. Found the nail right away. Wow, it even hangs to the little faceplate screws. Super powerful. Basically, you just hold it right here. You guys can screenshot that if you're an electrician. 27 pounds of magnetic pull. Magnet stays in place without being held. Rare earth magnet with 27 pounds of pull. Detects metal through 1/2 inch or 5/8 drywall, ceramic tile, 3/4 inch plywood. So it detects screws or nails. This isn't an infomercial. I'm an electrician, and if you don't know Racketeers, Racketeers has like a bunch of electrical hacks, cool electrical tools for electricians. So this stud ball is super cool. Hey man, I need to hit a stud. Well, this helps find those drywall screws. And the drywallers, they mount their drywall to studs, wood studs or metal studs, and this helps you find those screws. Then you use your pilot bit, make sure there's a stud behind there. You can knock. You can hear a stud behind there. Oh, that's pretty hollow. But even if you're good at knocking, sometimes you could still miss. Might as well get this magnetic stud finder for 20 bucks, 15 bucks, whatever it is. Find your stud with rare earth magnets, get it done right. So I got this off Racketeers. Also, how many of you guys have done service calls? Or you done service calls, or have you worked on a panel and the wires aren't correctly phased? Well, this is Mark My Wire, and I got, 120 to 240 colors, red, black, red, blue, and white. And basically what these do, if you can see on the picture, is it marks the wire. Oh, thank you for the $2 super chat. Appreciate that, Snoopy. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I also bought another. I bought a bunch of Klein tools yesterday. I don't want to show you guys the same Klein tools that I showed yesterday. I do want to test out this distance level up to 100 feet. Got some vice grips. Just some really cool hand tools. Another level. But this is a compact magnetic stud finder 2 from Klein. And I believe, powerful rare earth magnets. Let's see if it'll work through the... Oh, wow, it does. Look at that. And you can make sure you're nice and level before you mark your stud. Ooh. I actually like that one. Wow. It's working in the package. So check out this one. This is a compact magnetic stud finder. And basically what you do when you're using these, stud finders is you're looking for the metal nails or the metal drywall screws. It'll be all covered and so you can't see it. So what you do is no, I'm just kidding. So you make a Z-like kind of shape. And basically what you're doing is you're looking for that stud. So you're just kind of Zing back and forth. Sometimes you can't find it on the first try. And when you feel it lock or when you feel it getting pulled towards something, go over, check over again, boom. Okay, then you can get your tape measure and you can measure about 16 inches over or 24 inches. How far? And then, measure over here. Oh, I'm not feeling anything. Oh, it's over here. Oh, so this spacing is actually 24 inches. It's not a 16-inch stud wall. It's a 24. Okay? So you can just check it that way. Both of these magnets are super, super tough. I'll let you guys know how they do. Maybe I'll make a short or something like that. But yeah, you just make a Z-like pattern and you find those nails. And what's the significance of finding studs? It's so you can mount your equipment, your device. Maybe you're hanging a TV up on your wall. You want to make sure you catch studs. Okay? All right. So this is the Racketeers wire, Mark My Wire. And basically you just stick the wire through and you just mark it all the way around. So that way you can be code. Instead of just re-pulling the whole circuit or something like that, or just using a bunch of tape, you use these, shake it up, and you can color the wire. So we'll see if you can change like a blue wire, make it red, or I doubt you can change a black wire and make it red. We'll see if that works. But I got that from Racketeers. Is the microphone still dead? Yeah, I can't wait to try that out. Is the microphone still dead? Okay, sweet. Thanks, Matthew. All right, well, this is a bend-all knuckle saver. And basically what you do is you stick looks about like a 1/2-inch drive. You stick a 1/2-inch drive in there, and this helps you bend your wire. So it fits from number 3 all the way to 500 MCM conductors, and it's durable. It's made out of a machine from 6061 aircraft aluminum. It fits a standard 1/2-inch ratchet. And so basically, as you can see on those pictures, you put your 1/2-inch ratchet in there, and you're able to bend the wires. Instead of fighting it with your hands, trying to get that wire to land on that lug or dress your wire nicely in your panel, you stick it in there nicely. So I definitely will be trying that out. The Klein 4-in-1 sockets. No, I got some more. I got a pretty good amount of Klein tools. I did get the V cutter. Now, I'm not a residential electrician. I'm a commercial inside wireman for most of my years in the trade. And first of all, I just laughed at this packaging because it's like a little V cutter in there. And what does this do? When you use Romex wire strippers, you can cut like 14-2 or 12-2 Romex. And what's Romex? Romex is basically what your house is wired with. It's a non-metallic sheath cable, and what that is just your conductor wires. They have like this protective sheath. It's non-metallic coating on the outside, and a lot of it is like identified by color. Like white sheathing is 14-2, yellow is like 12-2, and they're even starting to color it more. I'm not really a residential electrician, but if you understand circuitry, like if you understand the theory behind it, power comes in from, your utility company, PG&E, SMUD, Edison, whoever it is, it hits a transformer, and then it knocks it down to workable voltage, like 120 volts per line, and that's what feeds your house. So all you really have to understand really is your utility company. I'm probably going to lose some of you right when I say utility company. You're like, what? So basically those telephone poles with those wires way up there that say high voltage, those copper conductors in there are actually super small. And the reason why they're super small and those big, heavy protected coated wires is they're super small to travel really far. The higher the voltage, the less ampacity. So you can have actually smaller wires. And they go all the way down until they get to your house. And usually there's a little transformer that steps it down to 120 volts workable voltage per phase. So they drop that down to your house, and then your panel is a single phase panel. It's a single phase panel, but there's actually an A phase and a B phase. In commercial settings, they have an A, B, C phase. So if it's high voltage, it's brown, orange, yellow, which We just say in the trade, boy. That helps us to remember it. BOY, brown, orange, yellow. And then in residential, it's usually black and red. If you have a lower voltage panel, a 3-phase panel in a commercial setting or industrial, it's black, red, blue. But typically in your panel, your black and red are going to be your A phase and your B phase. And I can keep going on and on of all the stuff that keeps popping in my mind as I'm talking about that, because I'm an electrician with experience. But there's so many improperly labeled multi-wire branch circuits. Multi-wire branch circuits, black, red, they don't have the correct breaker ties. Whenever you see a black and red conductor or a red conductor in your panel, that's because it's part of a 12-2, or I'm sorry, a 12-3, a 14-3, a 10-3, and that means it has 2 hots and 1 neutral. It only has 1 neutral. So your return path for current, we can get all in the nuances into what a neutral actually does, but basically it's the white wire. When there's a red wire, that's supposed to be a part of another wire. And if that's not a part of a breaker tie, then when you shut off that red phase or that red wire, the other hot is still connected to that neutral. So when you think you're working on a safe device or outlet on a multi-wire branch circuit because you turned it off, that neutral is still receiving current from the breaker that it's on. So what I had to do when I did a lot of panel swap outs, when I did a lot of panel upgrades, is I always had almost every house, without fail, unless it was a new build, I had to correct so many breakers and put breaker ties. I had to find it all. Some people don't care. Some people will just blow and go. However you have it, they'll just put it back the way it was. I always went the extra mile because I just care, man. And when my licensed electrical hands are touching someone's panel and doing work for an employer, I'm always going to provide the highest quality, but also doing that in the most efficient way. When you're working for an employer, you want to be efficient and get the job done right because someone's paying you to do the job. So you can have a heart to care for people, but you got to do it in a timely manner. You know what I mean? You can't talk to the old lady, for an hour while you're on the clock. You know what I'm saying? You can talk and listen and all right, and you got to get back to work. But I always cared and I always wanted to go the extra mile because treat others the way you want to be treated, right? So these V cutters are for Romex. And basically what they do, what you had to use back in the day was Romex cutters, and you cut the sheath with a 12-2 or 14-2. I've never had a 10-2, but I'm sure they make those. But you cut the sheath and then you're able to pull it off. Well, these V cutters, you can just cut straight down the sheath now. It's way quicker. You could just cut way down the sheath and, separate your wires and cut the sheath off. And the reason why you cut that off is so you have at least 6 inches of wire play to work with, wire your device and all that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to trying that on. I will put that on my Romex wire strippers that I have, but I don't really use it. Let's see. What else? What else do I have from Racketeers? I do have some of their, the wire caddy. I have that. I have the Racketeers, the black rack where you can set up and pull wire off of. Is that it? Is that all I have? No way. I must have other stuff on that's coming in. Okay, I guess I got 5 things. Oh, okay, 6. This is from Southwire though. This is the wire puller, or the safe. They call it pull it, but basically you can pull from junction boxes, set up your wire caddy, and pull through it. I got that. The V cutter for Romex. Mark my wire. The Bendall knuckle saver, and the stud ball. And I got so many Klein products yesterday. It's crazy. But yeah, I wanted to go live and kind of show you guys what else came in through Amazon. I went to Home Depot, Lowe's, Amazon. Well, Amazon is from my phone. But Harbor Freight was the first place I went to. Then I went to Lowe's, and then I went to Home Depot, and then I shopped on Amazon. And today I went to Best Buy. So yeah. Etch Me says, do I read you? Yes, I can read you. How are we doing tonight, guys? How's it going? How's your Labor Day weekend going? Yeah, these are charged. 1.7's charged. And this 5 amp hours charged. John Doe says it's going good. Right on. If you guys didn't see yesterday, I got this Dewalt vacuum. And this Dewalt vacuum is so awesome. I literally bought one. My wife tried it out, and it was around Mother's Day. And she was like, I want it. And I was like, it'll be one of your Mother's Day gifts. And she was like, she tried it out. She loved it. She was like, actually, yeah, I wouldn't mind it. Now, obviously, that's not all I got her. But I got it for me to use for work. And I already have two other DeWalt vacuums, but they're not like this. And I'll show you guys why I like this one so much. So let's slap a 5 amp hour battery in. But check this out. So you got your DeWalt vacuum. Pull this out of your bag. Look at this. Now I can go on the floor. How nice is that? Vacuum, clean up. All right, day's over. Boom. Put your battery in there and boom, you're off. That's why I like that one. It's got a lot of different other heads. Yeah, you can use it as a car vacuum. Which one of these seemed the most cool to you guys? Which one would you guys use? Ooh, you know what? Let's test out this Klein 100-foot compact laser measure. Let's see how it works. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because then they're just repeatedly charging. Yeah. I only plug this wall right here. I made this wall right here. And I plug it in. I plug it in and I bring power to it. So let's see how good this thing works. All right, I need a Phillips screwdriver. Looks like it takes a pH1. Has anyone ever watched McFarlane? We watched McFarlane tonight as a family. Very inspirational. Very inspirational about a school that didn't have a track and field club. They had like a football club, but football wasn't the right sport for them at that time, 1987. And a coach moved to McFarland, and he started teaching them track and field. And they ended up going on to win the championship. So whenever I travel south on the 99, I pass McFarland. Anyway, hey, what's up, George? Hey, what's up, Billy? What's up, Steve? Right on. The night's still young for us, George. Yep, that's correct, Matthew. What are the chances I'll use any of these tools outside of demonstration? 100%. I'm a California certified electrician. I use power tools every single day. All right, so let's see. 13 feet, 10 inches. So from the wall and 13 feet, 10. Ooh, it breaks it all the way down to the 16th? Wow. Interesting. What do you guys say we verify? Let's verify and see how accurate this is. All right, let me get a pencil here. Sharpen my pencil real quick, guys. Home Depot pencil. If you know, you know. So, here's what we're gonna do. Okay, you guys see that wooden mark right there? Turn it on. Okay, so that red laser's on, you guys can see that. So we're gonna point it at the wall. We're gonna go up. What does it say? It says 11 feet. 11 feet, 1 inch, 13/16. So I just did the pencil across right here. 11, 1, 13/16. Okay, so I'm not even gonna touch it. Carubel 300, I got you, bro. Give me a second. So 11, 1, 13/16. Wow. What a number. So 11, 1, 13/16. Oops, I moved the laser. Oh, not quite. Don't use these things accurately. It's 10/8 and a half inch. 10/8 and a half inch. Let me show you guys. I'll grab it. What I have right here is 10/8 and a half. So 128 and a half, which is 10 feet, 8 inches. 8 and a half, 128 and a half. So it looks like it stops, but 11, 1, 13/16. So let's give it another shot. Oh, it looks like it holds a couple of them. Look at that, now it's working on the second one. I'll have to read the features. So it's back at 11, 1, 13/16 again. So, oh, now it's 11, 1, 7/8. Okay. All right, let's check it out. Hey, if you're an electrical apprentice, get this, screenshot this. Screenshot that. Klein tape measure. It's got your conduit bending. It's got your conduit bending multipliers. 10 degrees, 15, 22, 30, 45, 60. Oh, it doesn't have 60 on there. But it also has your 3-phase table. All on the back. Awesome tape measure, especially for electricians. All right, so let's try it again. Well, it's saying 11/1. So what I can tell you right away, since it's saying 11/1 again, well, obviously we know it's going to be 128 again. Oh, wait a second. Wait just a second. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Hold on, guys. Whoa. Maybe I spoke too soon. Look, do you guys see what I see? Do you guys see what I see? The back of the laser's 11.1. That's about 11.1 1/4. Is it measuring it from the back of the laser? Huh. Well, let's try this again. So this is a 25-foot tape measure. Let's go all the way to 15 feet. Let's go all the way to 15. So I'm going to put we're at 15 feet from the wall, guys. Okay. So I'm all the way up against the wall. And lock this tape measure down. I got it all the way pushed. Oh, okay. Nice, Michael. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I literally just took it out of the box, so. Wow. 15 1/6. 1/16, guys. Wow. That's pretty dang accurate, dude. Look, that looks about 15 1/16, right? Look what we got. Look at that, 15 1/16. Wow. I'm actually surprised. I'm actually surprised. Not bad, Klein. Not bad. Wow. I've seen this laser on sale for like 30 bucks, 25. I actually bought it full price for 40. So let's go all the way up to 10 feet. Say you're running a 10-foot stick of conduit. You're running your 10-foot stick of conduit. Let's see what we got here. So we got our laser, as you guys can see. Point it at the wall. Line it up 10 feet. Wow, look at that, 10 3/16. So it looks like it's about 3/16 off. Make sure my tape measure's pushed up all the way. So it kind of recalibrated. It's saying it's 10 1/8. See that right there? 10 feet, 1/8 of an inch. So pretty darn close. 1/8 of an inch off. Dang, it's kind of too close. It's too close to say never use it rather than a rough estimate. But man, say you're in a tight spot, right? Say you're in a tight spot, right? Something like this. Man, you're up T-bar or something. You can't really get to the back wall. So you got to be able to aim back there. Wow, that's 10 feet, 9. Nine, 9, 10. Right on. Okay, let's try something else. Let's just put it down randomly. Let's see what we get. We got 12.2. We got 12.2 3/4. And what do we have? We have about 12.2 and a half. We got 12.2 and a half. It seems to be off by 1/4. It's saying 3/4. I got about 1/2 inch. Yeah, it's about 1/2 inch. I know, John. I know. That's how I felt, John. John, I was at Best Buy today, and they were showing me a little small computer desktop, like this big, about that thick, about 1 inch thick, and like this, a little cube. It was an Apple product. I almost bought it. I almost bought it. Wow, look, and it saves all your measurements. Not bad. Let's go up close. Let's do 3 feet. So it's still saying 1/4. Still saying it's off by 1/4 inch. So it's saying 3 feet and 1/4. 3 feet and 1/4, and you guys can see as me. That's every bit of 3 1/16. So scoot that up a hair. Let's see what we got now. Still got 3 1/4. So this thing's typically off about 1/4 inch. Let's go to 11. Let's try 11. Yeah, 11 1/4. It just seems to be off 1/4 inch every time. See that, guys? 11 1/4. 11 feet, 1/4 inch. It's right at 11. Yeah, not bad. Okay. Am I going to use this to mark and lay out a bunch of lights? Nope. Will I put my conduit straps, maybe? Maybe in a pinch. But will I use it for a rough estimate to order some wire? Absolutely. Absolutely, right? You're kind of estimating 1/4 inch off. That's not a lot. But you just go, okay, here we go. Got 11 feet here. How much I got up here? Straight up. Okay, 10 feet. Okay, so that's 21. I'm a 90 this way. Another 10 feet, okay, 31 feet. And get 35 feet. Boom. Anyhow, pretty cool. Is my wall true? That is the question. Is my wall true? You just hold the button to shut it off. Yep, you're absolutely right, Keruble. If I know it's a 1/4 inch off, hey, I'll just keep recalculating it by a 1/4 inch. What'd you get? What'd you get, Matthew? Oh, that's a good point too, Matthew. Expands metal. Yeah, Keruble, yeah. It's like a little mini computer for that Apple makes. It's like $500, probably close to 600. If you get the base model, if you get like the 24 gigabytes RAM and all that kind of stuff, then it's like 1,000. If you get like 2 terabytes of memory or something like that. What was my apprenticeship journey like? Everyone's apprenticeship journey is going to be different. But what I know, wow, I look tiny. I look tiny from this camera angle. That's okay. I'm okay with that. But that's what I represent right there. Yeah, Apple and their prices. What's up? What's up, Roger? Shout out to Argentina. True, John. I mean, your typical commercial inside wireman apprenticeship is anywhere from 4 year to 5 year. 4 years to 5 years. If you want to be like your own electrical business owner one day, it's better to go non-union. If you just want to be somewhere, work comfortable, you're okay with taking orders, you're okay with, getting paid the same amount of money as everyone else, but you get medical, you get your pension, you get a decent wage to live off of, a good retirement plan, then union might be the way for you. But there's politics that come with union, hierarchy. I don't really like politics. I just like going to work, working hard, and, doing my job. As long as the boss is happy, I'm happy, and just doing good work and helping people along the way. I like a merit shop. I believe in a merit shop where you have to earn. If you work hard, you earn your wage. Okay? It gives you dignity. It gives you goals to work for something. So I like the merit shop philosophy. And what is a merit shop? A merit shop is basically what merit stands for. You earned it. So if you want a raise, then you got to prove and show, hey, why do I deserve a raise? What has changed in a year or so of you working there? But if you're in an apprenticeship, you're going to get a raise every single year. And I did a 5-year commercial apprenticeship, journeyed out, and, I just chased prevailing wage for a while, which are government contract works, and did solar. I wanted to learn how to do solar so I can put it on my house, which I'm still thinking about. I'm probably going to stream that. I think I can get a decent package for around 12 to 15K, and I'll just install everything myself. The company, the wholesaler that I would buy it from, they pull all the permits and stuff, so I'm thinking about doing that. Yeah, I know, Matthew. I look super small over here. But yeah, I'll definitely go live. I'll definitely go live to try out the Milwaukee Flex, Dewalt, and Hercules half-inch high torques. I'll probably do that tomorrow. What time is it on Australia, Matthew? It's bedtime over here. Isn't that one girl, Carly Sparky? Carly Sparky or something like that? Isn't she from Canada? Just hit her up and be like, what's up? Yeah, Caleb, it's it definitely sounds the cheapest. It definitely sounds the cheapest. I got an 8 amp hour extreme performance battery on it. The Milwaukee is for the all-around RPM, torque, impacts per minute, battery platform, grip, ergonomics of the power tool itself. It is super impressive. Sounds like a straight up beast. The DCF 961, the only reason why I like this one better is because it has VTech, which shows innovation and technology, and it's just stronger and it's more consistent. Every time I do bolt breakaway with this, the VTech kicks in and it takes it off. Unless like the socket has seized on the bolt and it's not moving at all. And that's happened with all of these, except the Hercules I haven't tried out yet. But yeah, just the VTech with this, I think Milwaukee beats the DCF 900 easily. But there's a reason why this thing's number one. You don't need a bunch of RPM, and probably that's not really safe unless you put it on your bolt mode to where whenever it breaks it off, it stops right away. And you can do that for either one of these. But I say the DCF 961 is for the, oh crap, I can't get this rusty bolt off. What do I do? You get this guy. And if not, you just use a mid-torque. You're going to use a mid-torque on most of your vehicle stuff anyway. You don't need these big guys. These guys are huge and super powerful. Yeah, I guess I rate tools based on what are they used for. So, I mean, while the DeWalt DCF 860 wins on the small fasteners and the medium-sized fasteners, I don't really say it's the number one because it's not the strongest torque. And it still is not as fast on the high torque stuff as Flex and Milwaukee. Although I've done like a 10-inch by half-inch lag bolt for DeWalt and Milwaukee Gen 4 with a 5 amp hour power stack versus a 6 amp hour forge, and they both ended up being the same distance. So same power, safety feature, slows down. But which one is more stronger? On Torque Test Channel, the DeWalt is. And I don't use high torque impact wrenches for my job as an electrician. But it's definitely fun. Like a lot of people when they drive lag bolts and like the Milwaukee or one of these other ones wins and they're like, oh man, it's better. But in reality, you're not going to use these to drive lag bolts. You're going to use them to do bolt breakaway or bolt tightening. And when it comes to bolt breakaway and bolt tightening, the DCF 961 wins. So I know a lot of people like Milwaukee, But for me, Milwaukee's owned by China, and so is Flex. That's why I don't really endorse their tools. However, I've given them a fair shot, and I always talk about what's good about them. But Dewalt with the DCF 961, clear number one, American tool brand. I'm gonna push USA on this. You know what I mean? I think Americans should be a little more conscientious of where their tools come from and who they're supporting. You know, and that's a reminder for me. And being someone that likes to love their neighbor as I love myself, you know, like the Bible says, I'm kind of pushed in that direction to support local first before I support global. And I think once we do a better job here, we can encourage other people globally to support their own as well. And also, we can also buy things from time to time. But for the most part, after testing these tools head to head, it just does not make sense to me why I would switch from Dewalt to another power tool platform, especially if it's, you know, $14.6 billion was spent on Milwaukee in 2024. And I'm sure Dewalt was right around the same number, if not more, maybe a little less, I don't know. But it's just going to help our economy more when we support American businesses. So, yeah, Karubel, they sold in 2005. That's why I buy Klein. That's why I buy Klein tools. Like, it's kind of sad what Home Depot did with Klein, S-Swing, Channel Lock, Irwin, and, you know, all these other American brands, is they pushed them out, and they just brought in, like, Milwaukee. They have a partnership with Milwaukee. And to me, the way that they cater to Milwaukee, it's like their favorite number one brand. And so what happens is you have a generation of people growing up in the trades, and they see like, oh, Milwaukee's like number one, you know, Milwaukee. And they're just seeing it advertised. So a lot of times you see things advertised, that doesn't mean it's necessarily the best. But Home Depot has been the power tool distributor that most people go to. And they're always seeing Milwaukee, like even Ryobi. Milwaukee and Ryobi, but guess who owns both of them? TTI. So Dewalt you'll see at Lowe's and Home Depot. I think Dewalt could do better at advertising. Yeah, I saw that John. Milwaukee busted an employee for stealing $1 million in tools. That's insane. But like, I think, okay, so you guys know, like, I'm going to say it in a way like this. You could be souping up your car, you could be souping up a character on a video game, or even for practicality reasons, me as an electrician. As an electrician, I can go in automation, I can go in like industrial, commercial, residential. Commercial means like commercial businesses, you know, like Target, Walmart, all these other like business shops where there's businesses in there, restaurants, all various types of stuff. That's commercial. Residential, homes, track homes, custom homes. You can be that kind of electrician. Or you can go work in a factory where you're working with conveyor belts, you're working with, you know, powering up, you know, these factories and these food processing plants and all this kind of stuff, and you got to control motors and all this kind of stuff. You can do all those. But guess what? Any electrician that says, hey, I'm the best at residential, I'm the best at commercial, I'm the best at industrial, I'm the best at anything electrical, I will beat everyone at any trade in regard to electrical, guess what? They're lying. They're absolutely lying. And something that I don't like to see is when a power tool brand is trying to say they're the number one best. Oh yeah, we're the best at this. We're the best at all the hand tools. We're the best at all the power tools. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. You can advertise yourself, but when I bought thousands of dollars worth of tools and I tested them out against each other head to head, the proof was in the pudding. It was literally in my hands. It was literally in my hands where I'm testing them out one by one. Now, some people will say, well, Dewalt is just Stanley Black & Decker. Oh, well, Dewalt was bought out by Stanley Black & Decker. Guess who makes Lexus? The same people who own Toyota. So are all Lexuses Toyota? Are all GMC trucks the same as Chevys? No. Are all Acura are they all the same as Honda? No. So that has to that's just a pejorative term that people, or a pejorative phrase that people like to use to just kind of put it down. And Stanley Black & Decker owned Craftsman, DeWalt, and that could be frustrating in itself trying to discuss that point with people, but they just regurgitate whatever grandpa or someone on the job site told them. I'm not that type of person. I didn't grow up around a bunch of people, family members telling me like this and believe this and that, and all these little, listen to what grandpa says. Both of my grandpas weren't in my life. My dad wasn't in my life. So I've always just kind of done my own research and looked into things. I try to listen to the wisest person on the job site. And when I was an apprentice, I just would find someone who knew what they were doing, and I would try to work with that person if possible. And if not, if I couldn't work with them, then I would just do my own research on YouTube. I had to do my own research on YouTube to find out how to bend 4-point saddles, 3-point saddles. Nobody showed me that stuff. And I had to look up a lot of that stuff. But guess what? 5 years of hard work and dedication, guess what I got? Valedictorian. I graduated top of my class. And for anyone seeking to go into an apprenticeship, if you're an adult, you're an adult. So you have to treat every single day. Whose responsibility is it? Mine. If I fail, whose problem is it? Mine. If I work for a bad company and I stay there, whose fault is it? Mine. If I work for a good company, whose fault is that? That's mine. I chose to work for a good company. As an adult, we have to remind ourselves, hey, I'm in charge here. It's up to me. I can't blame anybody else for my mistakes. As soon as you become past 18, you're an adult and you have to make those decisions for yourself. So Richard, man. Some people, man. The DeWalt DCF 921, 923. Yeah, I owned both of the 921 and the 923. I bought those because I was using a knockout kit that was impact socket rated. So I used the DCF 921 and the 923. The DCF 921 and the DCF 911. And those are both the half-inch drives. The DCF 921 is stronger than the DCF 911. I think the 921 is like the half-inch, and the 923 is the 3/8 compact, It's compact, so it's atomic. Those are atomic impact wrenches. But I just used my mid-torque. I got the mid-torque DCF 892, and I just ended up returning both of those. I didn't use them. I got them on like a buy one get one free type of deal, and I used it out, and it wasn't for me because the mid-torque on speed 2 was just as strong as that. So I didn't really have a need for it, so I returned it. Yeah, conduit bending, you just basically have to just keep at it. You just got to keep bending. And conduit bending is a special skill in and of itself. And how do you gain any skill? You gain it by just working hard, keeping at it, and then you just pick up the skill as you do it. And so you want to know your multipliers. Once you know your multipliers, all you got to do is use the level, right? A 10 degree, you kind of just do that by feel, right? Because you have to eyeball the 10 degrees. You have to match it up to your line, and then flip it around and bend your other 10 degree, throw a level on there. And if you're going for a 2-inch 10 degree bend, you got to bend your 2 marks at 12 inches apart. So it's times 6, that's your multiplier. But typically you're going to bend 30s. Most people bend 30s, and that's just times 2. So you got a 14-inch obstruction like so. You're running your conduit. Okay, 14 inches, you just times it by 2, 28. So you make 2 marks at 28. 28 inches later, another one. Bend both of them at 30 degrees. You're going to clear your 14-inch obstruction. Or be right on top of it. Maybe you even want to go half inch higher. So you bend at 29. But conduit bending is conduit bending. If you want to be a difference from an installer, if you want to go from being an installer to a certified electrician, you're going to have to know a lot more than conduit bending. You're going to have to know code. DV says 3 ways and 4 ways I could never figure out. Maybe if I did timing more, I could figure it out. Yeah, the 3 ways and 4 ways, it's easy to understand. So here you go. I'll explain it to you. So with a single pole switch, you have power coming in and then power going out. So you see the switch? See the switch right here? You got power coming in, and then you turn it on and the power goes out. And then you got your light. So you turn the power off, light goes out. So the connection from the top of this light switch goes up to the light. That's called the load. That's the switch leg. Switch leg is the Romex that goes from the light down to the top of the switch. Your power is what comes into the switch. So your power, this is just like a disconnect. There's power coming to it, and then are you going to let the power through? It's off. Well, if you're going to let the power through, you turn it on. Now the power goes through, and now you shut it off. So basically what you're getting is power off, power on, power off, power on. You're just breaking the circuit. With a 3-way switch, you have 2 switches. And the reason why they call them 3-ways is because you have power coming in, and then you have two traveler wires. So instead of one power coming in and one switch leg, now you have like basically two switch legs. So the two travelers just basically go to another light. So you see that right there? Here's your power coming in. Power comes up and goes to this switch. And then from the top it goes up to the light, right? But if we make it a three-way, power comes in and you have two traveler wires. Now you're getting lost. You're going, what do you mean traveler wires? What is traveling? I don't get it. Why are you saying travel? Instead of just one wire going up to the light, now you have two that go in between. They're traveling in between two switches. And guess what? It's literally this simple. On a single pole switch, which is this one, you have two screws. One for your power, one for your switch leg. What's a switch leg? It's the leg going up to your light. That's on a switch. That's your switch leg. So you got two screws, not counting your ground screw. But just hear me out for simplicity's sake. Power coming in, power going out. These travelers, it's always traveling. It's always traveling through. So if you turn the switch, say it's off, it's traveling this way and it's broken here. If you do it this way, the power will no longer go through here. It'll go through this traveler. And if this switch is in the on position, the light will come on. Okay? So you just have two traveler wires and there's three screws. There's three screws on a three-way. That's why they call them a three-way. One screw here and two traveler screws. That's it. On a single pole switch, your hot coming in, which is your power, and your switch leg going out. Three-way has one hot coming in and two travelers. Then you use another three-way switch because you need two switches to work a three-way. And you have your two traveler wires that you land on your two traveler screws, and then you have the load going out. Okay? So you can turn it off here, you could turn it on here, you can turn this on here, and then you can turn it off here. Okay? So maybe I'll have to, you guys like the video or whatever, or just comment. Comment below if you want me to install a three-way. I can install a three-way. I'll show you guys how to do it. I'll cut open a box right here. And I'll mount a box and take it up there. And then a four-way has four travelers. Basically two travelers coming in, two travelers coming in, and two travelers going out. All right, Bill says he wants to see a three-way. I got you guys. Yeah, this is part of your guys' digital community. Not to sound all weird, but if you guys want to see me do three-ways, yeah, just let me know. That way I can know what you guys want to see. What was the most difficult part of becoming an electrician? I would say the most difficult part of becoming an electrician is the same as the most difficult part of any career. When you're a part of any career, it's just like that mindset that comes like, okay, if I'm going to learn this skill, I have to be dedicated to it. So like when I did the 5-year commercial apprenticeship, I had to say to myself,
So,
what's cracking, guys?
it's cracking.
What are you up to, dude? It's almost 11 o'clock. Do you have school tomorrow?
No?
No? I guess we get to stay up a little bit, huh, if there's no school.
Yeah.
Say, how we doing, everybody? Everybody say what's up to Seth.
So,
Yeah, but to finish that thought, the hardest part of any career is just focusing, devoting my time, being present, learning, engaging, just being responsible and just showing up, and on the more technical side of the trade, it's just learning to respect electricity and just taking it year by year. I kind of wanted to work for a foreman that was going to show me everything, teach me everything, but I didn't get that. I got mistreated. My first employer stole like 13 grand from me. But he put me in the apprenticeship to save money because I was working on prevailing wage jobs. But basically, oh look, that's the Hercules.
yeah.
See that? Careful, you're gonna have to. That's huge. Pull that trigger. Seth likes Hercules. Seth is my son. He's in 4th grade. How long you been in 4th grade? Couple weeks? Yeah?
3
3 weeks?
to the 3rd week.
Pretty loud, huh?
Yeah.
He likes Hercules. Sorry to hear that, FMDA.
By way.
Karubo says, what's up? David said, what's up? Thanks, Karubo. Yeah, DV, that's a bit low.
That we better in this 11.
All right, guys. It's getting pretty late. I'm going to head in. I'm going to go live tomorrow. We'll be checking out the Hercules Ultra Torque. We'll see how it does up against Milwaukee 2967 half-inch high torque. The Flex FX 1472. I do like the lighting on this Flex though. Lighting's super good. Dewalt DCF 961. We'll take this Hercules up against it and we'll see how it does. But love you guys and hope you all have a blessed night. You got anything you want to say, Seth?
God bless.
How much to do a 200 amp panel exterior flush mount? If you're having an electrician do it, they're probably gonna, if it's a small shop, they'll probably do it for around $2,000 to $3,000. They'll probably charge you around $2,000 to $3,000, but if you have a bigger shop do it, they have a lot more overhead. They're going to charge you about anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000. If anyone's charging you over like $4,000, I would just go with someone cheaper because that's a bit high. So unless you have like some utility issues or like they have to repair a lot of wires and that kind of stuff. But those are my thoughts. SoCal, no, I'm in Central California. Thank you, DV. Well, thanks for the suggestion too. I'll definitely do that 3-way. I'll do a 3-way and 4-way. Love you guys. Hope you guys have a blessed Labor Day. Yeah, Seth, you're making me yawn. Want to say goodnight?
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Hope they have a good Labor Day.
Yeah.
All right. We love you guys. Pray you all have a blessed night.
Peace.
Yeah, Siraj, I would just recommend just get multiple quotes. Get multiple quotes from people and make sure people are certified. Make sure they got their certification, that they're licensed. You don't want nobody doing Mickey Mouse stuff on your panels.
Top fans, Matthew.
Matthew's the top fan, number 1. Caleb Ross. Snoopy.
Those are top 3.
Top 3. Peace out, John. Peace out, DV. See you later, Custom. Bye, Siraj. See you later, Felix.
Peace.
Peace out, everyone. See you later, Karubal. Nice chatting with you guys.
Your phone keep overheating on like a back of mine.
All right, love you all. Good night.